When the first light of dawn brushed across the ancient hills, a stirring began in the heart of one who sensed a calling unlike any other. There was a whisper in the cool morning air, a promise wrapped in mystery and hope. In a world where millions wandered without direction, this individual sensed that the tapestry of their life was intricately woven with threads of destiny. The call came not in the thunder of proclamations but in gentle hints, in moments of quiet reflection when the soul longed for meaning beyond the everyday. This was the beginning of an awakening that would reveal a journey filled with trials, transformation, and the unmistakable mark of divine design. In the early days, the seeker discovered that life's struggles were no arbitrary misfortunes. Instead, each setback was like a sculptor's chisel, refining and shaping them into something more resilient. Just as a jewel must be cut and polished to reveal its brilliance, the trials they encountered were purposeful tools, carving out the inner light that had always been destined to shine. Each hardship, though seemingly harsh at the moment, was a gentle nudge toward realizing that there was a plan far greater than temporary suffering. It was as though destiny itself had chosen this person for an extraordinary path, one lined with the promise of profound impact and lasting fulfillment. As the journey continued, the first sign of this higher calling emerged in the form of an insatiable hunger for truth, a deep yearning to uncover life's hidden meaning. This was no ordinary curiosity, it was an unquenchable thirst that defied simple explanations and mundane ambitions. The seeker found themselves rejecting the path of comfort and mediocrity. While others were content with the easy rhythm of an unexamined life, a burning passion drew them to explore the realms of inner wisdom and spiritual revelation. It was as if the world's ordinary distractions had lost their luster, replaced by a powerful magnetism drawing them toward a destiny that sparkled with divine promise. In the quiet solitude of a starlit night, when the world around them slept in oblivious peace, another sign revealed itself, an undeniable awareness that unseen forces were at work. There were moments when life's challenges seemed orchestrated by an invisible hand, a force that not only tested resolve but also fortified spirit. With every betrayal and every lonely hour, the truth became clearer. The very struggles that threatened to drown hope were in fact the very elements that prepared the soul for greatness. It was a curious paradox where pain and providence danced hand in hand, teaching that every trial was a step toward becoming more than what one had ever imagined possible. As seasons shifted and the landscape of life transformed, the path forward was neither straight nor free of obstacles. The seeker encountered opposition, a tangible resistance that came in unexpected forms. Friends who once walked side by side now turned away. Opportunities for comfort were replaced by a series of seemingly random setbacks. Yet, within each challenge lay a message. If life's journey was filled with such fierce resistance, then it was because something extraordinary lay on the horizon. For the forces of darkness always seem to gather when the light of destiny is about to break through. The relentless opposition was evidence not of a curse but of a sacred calling. It was as if every hardship was proof that a power beyond human measure was orchestrating an ascent toward destiny. In the midst of these ever-changing trials, a surprising transformation began to take place. The seeker realized that the very experiences meant to break them were, in fact, the blueprint for building their inner fortress. The weight of disappointment and the sting of rejection gradually transformed into a deep well of strength and clarity. Like a river cutting through solid rock over countless years, the accumulated experiences eroded the barriers of doubt and fear. This metamorphosis was not accidental, it was a deliberate act of divine artistry. Every moment of despair had been repurposed into the soil from which a resilient spirit could bloom, a spirit ready to rise and embrace its true calling with unwavering determination. During this unfolding voyage, the realization came that the struggle for a meaningful life was not a solitary battle. There was always a higher presence guiding and supporting every step along the way. In the subtle beauty of a sunset or in the quiet interlude of prayer, the seeker felt the intimate embrace of a love so vast it defied human understanding. This love was a constant reminder that no matter how fierce the storm, there was always a shelter built of grace and compassion. It whispered in the rustling leaves and shimmered in the eyes of strangers who offered kind words in moments of vulnerability. The feeling was both humbling and empowering, a clear sign that the divine was not only watching over the journey but actively walking alongside the chosen one. As the inner light grew stronger, the seeker began to see that purpose was not merely a destination to be reached but a vibrant, living process. Every decision, every heartbreak, and every small triumph was imbued with meaning. Life's ups and downs were no longer random fluctuations but essential notes in the symphony of destiny. With each passing day, the heart grew more attuned to the intricate cadence of its divine rhythm, a melody that promised renewal, hope, and the courage to rise above the ordinary. It was a call to live life boldly, to rise above fear and doubt, and to embrace the very challenges that once threatened to overwhelm. Gradually, the individual came to understand that their unique struggles were a testament to a higher design. They recognized that the weight of their burdens was matched only by the magnitude of their potential. There was beauty in the scars and meaning in the tears, for these were the symbols of a life being reshaped by an unseen force. The journey of transformation was a profound reminder that to be chosen was not to be granted an easy path, but to be equipped with the inner strength to rise after every fall. With each setback, the divine hand was gently guiding them to stand taller and to shine brighter than ever before. In time, the signs converged like rays of sunlight breaking through a canopy of clouds, illuminating a path steeped in promise and wonder. The narrative of struggles turned into a narrative of hope, an epic that celebrated not just survival but the triumphant emergence of a spirit reborn through fire and adversity. The seeker now realized that every experience was a stepping stone, a vital chapter in an ongoing story that was still being written. They had been molded by hardship, refined by challenges, and destined for achievements that could only be touched by the grace of a benevolent creator. In this renewed vision, the seeker stepped forward with a fierce clarity and calm determination. The echoes of past tribulations no longer served as chains but as wings, lifting them toward a destiny painted with the vibrant colors of faith, resilience, and love. The journey was far from over. In fact, it was only just beginning. With eyes wide open to the miracles hidden in everyday moments, they embraced the responsibility of being a beacon of hope, a living testament that even in the midst of turmoil, light prevails. The adventures ahead promised not only personal fulfillment but the chance to uplift others who too were yearning for meaning. At last, the realization had dawned that being chosen was not a momentary privilege but a lifelong commitment to pursuing a higher calling. The path was laid out in a series of signs and experiences, each a small miracle in its own right, collectively forming a grand tapestry of redemption, purpose, and passion. It was a story of the human spirit infused with divine inspiration, an invitation to live beyond the ordinary and to partake in a destiny that transforms hearts and changes the world. In that sacred union of struggle and triumph, the seeker's journey became a bold declaration that life is meant for the courageous and the visionary, a legacy of light that shines even in the darkest hours. And so, with a heart ablaze with purpose and a soul that had tasted the essence of divine love, the path ahead revealed itself as a magnificent odyssey of hope, resilience, and boundless possibility. The call to step forward with unwavering conviction was clear. Embrace every challenge, celebrate every victory, and remain ever open to the subtle yet powerful signs that guide us toward our destiny. For in every fragment of struggle, in every whispered prayer, and in every joyful triumph, the truth resounded: the journey was personal, profound, and divinely orchestrated.